Hey, what's up, guys? It's Gecko, and today I have a very special treat for you, my very lovely girlfriend. She showed me this amazing show created by Walmart that many of you probably have not heard of, and it's called Add to Heart. And what Add to Heart is a rom-com made by Walmart that is shoppable content. You heard that right, shoppable content. And you're probably wondering, what is shoppable content? So basically, shoppable content is when ads will pop up on screen that showcases products that are being shown in the scene. And it's just so wild, and it takes you completely out of a viewing experience. And I thought it was just so funny. I had to talk about it. So I'm going to review the entire show right now. And you're probably wondering, how are you going to review an entire show? That's going to take forever. Well, don't worry your little head. Okay? The episodes are only about 1 minute to 3 minutes long. There's 20 episodes. I'm going to cut out a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. Also, one other side note before we get right into it. I'm not going to cover the show in depth like a whole series review. It's mainly just to show you what's happening on screen while I explain why I do not like it. It's just me dunking on it basically. I know. It's a show made by Walmart. Do you want a psychological analysis of every character and why they do the things they do? Whatever. Let's get into it with the first episode, and we'll just go from there. Episode 1, Ring Ring. We're introduced to our main character, Jessica, talking to her boss, Claudia, on the phone, and it only takes 18 seconds for a first brand placement. Let's go. And don't worry, there's going to be a lot more where that came from. I love brands. And then Jessica walks out into her living room trying to find someone named Teddy, and a drone in her living room leads her outside where her boyfriend of 6 months, Teddy, is there to propose marriage to her. After 6 months is wild, is absolutely bonkers. And obviously, since this is the boyfriend before we meet the real boy toy, she obviously says no to Teddy's proposal, it being 6 months, obviously, and she leaves the apartment. That's episode 1. Let's go to episode 2. Episode 2, a slip up. Jessica meets up with her boss,
Claudia.
By the way, Jessica's an interior designer in New York. Jessica shows up to her client's house, Miss Elliott.
Love to take you through the lighting choices I had made for you.
Absolutely. It'll be very illuminating.
And Jessica, going against Claudia's rules, puts in colorful accent lamps that Miss Elliott actually really enjoys. And you can tell because she's rich and her whole house is white and gray. And she goes,
I wasn't expecting any color, but
I don't get it. You have all the money you want. You're super rich and you choose to live in a white house? I don't get it, man. But anyways, Jessica's best friend Michael calls her, and Jessica tells him the situation with Teddy. And a little side note, I was watching this on my TV, so the ads were popping up on my screen, but all my footage is from YouTube, so I'm going to put my own ads in between, just so you guys get really immersed. But in this scene, there was an ad for the LED light mask he was wearing, just letting y'all know. But I'm going to put my little own ads in. And in the next scene, Claudia's yapping away, and she can't really notice that the rug is slippery, and she slips
That on your face!
and twist her ankle. I bet you weren't expecting anyone to slip in this episode. It's so quirky, so funny. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Episode 3, Phone a Friend. Jess is sleeping in Claudia's apartment while taking care of her until the nurse arrives, and Claudia actually says Jessica did a good job at the Mrs. Elliott's place. Now cut to Jess returning home to her apartment, and she's talking on the phone with her mom, and right when she walks in, her roommate best friend Michael shows up and exposes to her mom that Teddy asked to propose to her. And at the end of the episode, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Teddy, he pulls up, he slid, he's there. Alright, we're on to episode 4 now, but before we go into episode 4, I just want to say, the show, a lot of these episode synopsis are going to be very quick because a lot of episodes, not much really happens and they're really short. And also it's just, at the end of the day, it's just a really mid rom-com. Episode 4, Up in the Air. The episode opens up with Michael opening up the door to Teddy and him doing his little cringe routine. Oh no,
So, Jessie, she's in the shower right now. Oh, no, she's not in the shower, she's getting dressed. Oh, wait, no, she's doing jazz, but I guess she can't decide, really.
And then Jessica takes over and goes to the door, says hi, whatever, all that. And Teddy says, sorry, that was too much, and tries to get her to go to Connecticut with him and meet his family to figure out the relationship. Alright, dude, she didn't want to marry you, so now you're trying to take her away from where she lives. And I do not get this dude. He is very silly. But Jessica says she cannot go with him and has to help her mother back at home with a bunch of
Cookies, stained glass, stuff I need to help
Jess.
with.
And it's revealed earlier in the scene that Michael is actually going to go on a trip to Miami. So now we're at the airport, and Michael obviously is chanting Miami as he walks in the airport with his friends.
Miami,
And Jess is sitting all alone, prepared to go back to her hometown that they actually never give a name. It's just hometown. So Jess goes back to her hometown city. But before that happens, Michael's there. Why is Michael walking up to Jess? Wasn't he about to go to Miami? Well, yes, but his flight got canceled. So he's not going to Miami. He's actually going back to the infamous hometown. Now we're on episode 5. Episode 5, Familiar Faces. Their flight lands, and obviously Michael has to be the very funny, cool, quirky streamer archetype.
tree, lamp, little tree again, rocking chair, another rocking chair. Santa, Santa, can I sit in your lap?
Obviously, they have to do that. I love content creation and media. It's so awesome. More cringy jokes later.
But here we are in the sweetest airport in the history of ever.
Jessica meets someone she knew from high school at the airport, and Michael obviously has to be cringe the whole time. I can't even do it justice, so I'm gonna just play the clip.
I am really sensing a history between you two girls. Like, cheerleader nemesis vibes, right? Oh, no, wait, like you guys fought over a boy or something. She gives this town ain't big enough for the two of us vibes. Yes.
Jessica and Michael are getting a ride, and actually the ride guy, guess who he is? Jessica's old art teacher. And in the car, the teacher mentions someone named Javi.
Does Javi know you're in town? You two were a real hoot to have
But
in
Jessica
class.
does not want to talk about this Javi. Is this the OG boy toy? I believe so. And the teacher needs to give him a ride to where? Walmart. Walmart. I love Walmart. We are now on episode 6. Episode 6. A lift or a latte. I just gotta say, man, it opens up with this corporate ass song, and I just gotta say a thing about corporate music. You can tell how corporate a song is because it's just noise. It's just ooh 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 ba 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 ba. So they can use it anywhere and everywhere. We get introduced to this guy who owns a coffee stand, and we see Jessica's mom, Julie, changing a car tire. And obviously, big alpha strongman walks up. Hey, shawty, you need any help with that? And she says she's fine and doesn't need one, but actually he offers her a coffee, which she takes. And obviously in these shows and movies, they're gonna date. It's just known. But we find out the dude's name is David. But apparently the ads at this part were getting to me so much, I put in my notes that they're so jarring and dystopian. But yeah, no, it takes you completely out of a viewing experience. Obviously, this isn't a traditional form of media, and they know this. But it's supposed to be consumed as a traditional form of media. But I just can't get any scenes with emotional or any depth or weight at all. They just show you ads right after, and it takes me completely out. I cannot care anything about the plot, about the story, about the characters, if the whole time they're just like, you need a mixer. You really need a LED face mask. When am I gonna need that? We're on episode 7. Episode 7, An Unexpected Sign. The shot opens up with a Bluey ad, obviously, and we're in the happiest place on earth. Not Walt Disney's Disneyland, the other wall. Walmart. I love Wally World. I love to consume. I love rapid consumerism. I love Walmart. And obviously now that we're in a Walmart, brand placement shots everywhere. It's the best. It's the most fun. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they're only at Wally World because they lost their luggage on the plane, so they have to get new luggage. And Jess knocks over this sign of like a Walmart employee, and she becomes real and picks up the sign. And basically this character, Holly, is like the Christmas angel in the whole show. And it's awesome because obviously the Christmas angel is portrayed as a Walmart employee. I know, right? I love Walmart. And then the weird Walmart girl, Holly, asks if Jess needs to find anything and even needs to find love.
Electronics, toys, love.
What?
What?
Did you just say love?
Did she say love? Did you say love?
Did you say love?
And guess what? Holly leads Jess into Javi, the boy toy himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Teddy who? No, all I know is Javi, and you can already tell they love each other. That's it. Episode 8. Episode 8, Curbside Pickup. Michael meets Javi, and Jess says that Michael is her boyfriend. Obviously, Michael's character is too weak to handle this situation, so he goes,
I live in a cabin, so I came down here from the woods to pick up some supplies. You know how it is.
Yes, my boyfriend is so rustic.
So, how's New York?
Amazeballs.
And Isabel, Javi's sister, walks up to the three of them, and Isabel recognized Jess from the photo that Javi took Jess to prom. And then Isabel invites Jess and her boyfriend to the Christmas party that Javi's family throws every year. Mr. Bogle, Jess's old art teacher, is basically the personal chauffeur for the whole show, but obviously in classic fashion, he can't make it in time. And Javi gives Jess and Michael a ride, and then Jess reveals to Javi that Michael isn't her boyfriend, and he's not surprised, obviously.
For show.
Episode 9.
Yes!
Episode 9, out of the picture. Now Michael and Julie, Jess's mom, are talking about the reason Javi and Jess broke up. And the reason was that Javi and Jess were supposed to move to New York together, but Javi never showed up at the airport, and it broke Jess's heart. But immediately, and I mean right after this scene, you get shown an ad. It completely took me out. I'm like, I'm supposed to feel bad. I'm supposed to be like, what? Jess's love of her life never showed up to the airport? Buy mixers. Dude, what? But after that scene, it showed that Jess is trying to text Javi, but while Jess is trying to text Javi, Javi's trying to text her. So, you know, and then she gets a call. Oh, who's this call from? It's from Teddy. It's from Teddy. We don't care about Teddy, whatever. We are now on episode 10. Episode 10, Old Sparks, New Flames. We are now at the Snowfall Christmas Festival that Jess's mom was talking about. More Michael Crane stuff.
Cutest little town that's ever existed, and it totally slays. Mwah.
And Jess and Javi catch a glimpse of each other, and since Javi is an architect, he's the one designing all this stuff, you know? And David, the coffee guy from episode 6, walks up to her, and Will, David's little kid, snitches on him and says,
"My dad has not stopped talking about you."
What a snitch, dude, you ain't not supposed to tell her that. Anyways, they walk away, and then David comes back, and you can tell on his face, he's on a mission. He is on a mission. And he spits some fire game at Julie.
Change a tire faster than a pit crew.
And ask her on a date. And Julie does say yes, but then completely ruins it. And it totally shows the humor in the show.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Are you really, though? Really, dude? But it's a Walmart shoppable experience. But now it's time to tell you. I haven't told y'all this, and it's one of my favorite things about this show is the tagline. It's not a rom-com. It's a rom-commerce. I love it. I love when brands mix emotions with shopping. I love it. It's how it should be. It's how America is, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. Rom-commerce just pisses me off. And I thought people would agree, but no. I've seen comments under TikTok ads. People love that tagline, dude. They love it. Anyways, that's episode 10. We're on episode 11 now. Episode 11, tension builds. Yeah, dude, the perfect way to build tension, as everyone knows, and if anyone, you know, maybe knows how to write a little bit, the best way to build tension in a show is to tell your audience that you're building tension. I love it, dude. It's awesome. In this scene, Jess is asking if something's a bad idea, and Michael walks onto the scene and goes, coffee. And Jess tries to talk again and goes, coffee. And I was going to make a little joke like, oh, don't talk to me unless I had my coffee. Before I even typed it. He said it himself. My jaw literally dropped.
Don't talk to me without my coffee. But it's true. It's true.
I was dumbfounded. I was flabbergasted. I was floored. I was done. Now cut back to the festival, and Jess is chilling with Javi's dog, and Javi sits down right next to Jess. And Jess asks him about the time they remember that they decorated a treehouse together. More corporate-ass music. It's so fire. I love it. Working together montage. And I don't know, it's so badly written how this even happens, but like Jess is about to fall. Not even fall, just take a step down the stairs she's standing on. And he like jumps right behind her and grabs her waist, and then she spins around. I love it, dude. It's so awesome. Like, and I don't get it in these kind of shows. Like, why the whole show makes you feel like she's gonna cheat on Teddy. They haven't broken up. Oh no, she just said no to his marriage proposal. Well, I don't get it. Whatever. Next episode, episode 12. Episode 12, Merry and Bright, right? The episode opens up with a countdown. Once we get to 1, all the lights turn on. The festival is finished. Javi thanks Jess for her work, and Javi invites them to a gingerbread competition. And apparently, before Jess left, Javi and Jess would just absolutely own the gingerbread competition. Best in the game. That's what happens when you get a designer and an architect together.
I can't do this. I mean, I shouldn't do this. I'm sorry.
And when I was shown this show, the episodes were coming out in like bundles, and the new episodes haven't came out yet, so this is all I had so far. And my thoughts so far is just, why does this exist and who's watching it? I just want to know. I'm watching it, obviously, but like, who is like sitting down and enjoying it? There can't be anyone, right? Anyways, we're on to episode 13 now. Episode 13, on thin icing. You get it? Icing, like, since Jess is not going to sign up for the gingerbread competition, Alexis Styles, and they refer to her as Alexis Styles the entire show. I don't know why, some High School Musical type, always first last name with these two. Anyways, Alexis Styles was the girl that they met at the airport that they had the "this town ain't big enough for the two of us" vibes. Since Jess isn't going to do the gingerbread competition with Javi, she says he's going to do it with Mr. Boggle. But obviously, in true Christmas spirit, this cannot happen. All the tickets with the names on them get flown around, and then Jess goes to pick them up, and we see weird Walmart lady Holly again that uses Walmart branded magic to team them up together. Gingerbread contest ensues, and Will and Isabel win. Will and Isabel, they were robbed. If you look at the gingerbread houses, Javi and Jess obviously had the better structural gingerbread house and better designed one, but they only won because they were children, and the prizes, Nintendo Switches. What are two grown people gonna do with that? They needed... Anyways, more Javi and Jess lore. Jess and Javi are talking, and Jess is like, why didn't you come to New York with me? And Javi's all like, it was just a dumb little challenge, a little dare of sorts. And truth or dare with these two is very serious, we come to find out. It's life or death with them. Anyways, episode 14. Episode 14, Truth in a Date. Javi's mom oversaw Jess and Javi arguing, and Javi sits Jess down and reveals that she's the reason Javi did not move to New York with Jess. And the reason is because they found a lump in her breast, and Javi wanted to stay behind and take care of her, because Javi knew if he told Jess the real truth, that she would stay behind instead of going to New York and pursue her dreams. Anyways, after this conversation, David and Julie are sparking it up, spitting game to each other, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. Not really important. Now we are on to episode 15. Episode 15, Makeover Magic. First thing I want to say about this episode is Michael walks in with the Peter Griffin fit. Was the only thing I could think of, dude. White buttoned up shirt, green pants. The Peter Griffin fit. Anyways, Julie's making up some sweets and treats in the kitchen, and Michael's like, come on, we have a party to get to. Why aren't you dressed yet? And then the whole episode's just a makeover montage with some corporate music. You know how it goes. You two can look hot, sexy, and cool if you shop at Walmart. And the only thing I can think about after Michael made Julie look so pretty is that he's definitely written by a 45-year-old man with a 15-year-old teenager who makes content. There's no way people like this are real, but whatever. Anyways, Jess says she's not going to go to the Christmas party because it's not a good idea to be at Javi's house. You know why. But Jess says she isn't going to go because she has too much work to do for Claudia and also has nothing to wear to the party. But don't worry, Holly, the Walmart Christmas Angel employee, drops off a dress for Jess to wear to the party. Obviously, the only person in the show to have mystical, wonderful, biblical powers is a Walmart employee. That's all I gotta say. We're on to episode 16 now. Episode 16, all spruced up. We finally made it to the Christmas Eve party. Let's go. Jess makes it into the lit function, and Alexis Styles compliments the Walmart Angel dress.
Nice dress.
We got some more cringe Michael moments, as you already know. Every time he's on screen, it's a real hoot and it's a real holler.
Look gorgeous, expertly styled, stunning. Yep, that was all me. Okay.
Jess ends up in Javi's room and looks out the back window and sees something. Something really cool. What does she see? That bitchin' ass treehouse I was talking about. This is the only thing in this show where I'm like, this is fire. Is this treehouse. Shout out Javi's architect skills. Shout out Jess's designing skills. This is fire. Javi walks back out, and Jess and Javi, you can tell that Jess is a little bit on good terms now after finding out the real truth, and they must go on an eggnog quest given by Javi's father. And guess where that expedition may lead them? I'm going to have you guess. I ain't even going to tell you. We're on episode 17. Episode 17, Lock It Down. Opening shot, Walmart, Walmart, Walmart. I love Walmart. Jess and Javi are parked outside the Walmart, and Jess's boss, Claudia, will not stop blowing up her phone on Christmas Eve. And Javi dares her to not pick up. And like I said previously, truth and dare is very important for these two for some reason. And Javi also dares her to leave the phone in the car. So she does it, I guess. They go inside the Walmart. While they're in the Walmart, this is the most obvious ad placement so far, and it made me die. I was cackling, dude. Javi says,
I have caramel pound cake ice cream. That's my favorite.
Come on.
and then just the whole shot is just like a row of the ice cream. I love it. It's so awesome. Anyways, brand placement aside, Walmart angel herself, Holly, locks him inside the Wally world. I wonder what romantic holiday mischief will ensue with no phones, guys. They have no phones, so they're forced to talk to each other. No TikTok, no Instagram. They have to talk to each other. Anyways, that's episode 17. Let's go to 18. Episode 18, Down the Aisles. With no phones, they obviously can't call for help, but don't you even worry. Jess says that Michael will definitely notice that they're gone, but he's being so silly and singing 1,000 miles. He's just such a little goof, our little comedian.
Days is passing, I'm homebound.
Now stuck inside the Walmart, they obviously have to do something, so Jess and Javi are playing Truth or Dare like they always do. And Jess dares Javi to dress in a reindeer onesie and skip around and dance around the store. Cute Walmart Christmas montage ensues, full of spending times with the ones you love, laughter, smiles, dancing, and ads. Can't ever forget the ads. Javi and Jess, they almost kiss, lips almost touch. But Jess pulls right away and dares Javi to make her dinner. Whoa. Wow. Bazooa. Anyways, that was episode 18. On to 19. Episode 19, Moment of Truth. Javi makes Jess dinner, and the ads at this point are just getting way worse with every scene. And also, Javi makes dinner with everything he found at Walmart. Did he pay for all of this? Like, you can't just rip this stuff all open and eat it. And after this scene with multiple huge brand placements, I'm just thinking to myself, I could only watch this if I wanted to watch ads. I could not consume normal media like this at all. Jess finally confronts Javi about the reason he stayed in the hometown, and he says,
Why didn't you tell me about your mom? I would have understood. I could have been there for you.
But would you have gone?
and he wanted Jess to follow her dreams in New York. But Jess also has something else to say to Javi.
I have something to tell you.
But right before she can say it, guess who pulls up? Michael and Mr. Bogle. They are saved. Now that they're out of the store, Jess gets her phone out of Javi's car, and Javi asks,
So what did you want to tell me?
Nothing. Really, it's fine.
And they part ways. That was episode 19. We are now on to the episode 20. Episode 20, Three's a Crowd. Jess wakes up to find out that Claudia had a biblical vision on a redesign that Jess now has to do. It is now actually Christmas Day, and Javi is cooking up a plan. He is cooking up a devious plan. We don't know yet, but he's cooking it.
Something's up with Javi.
He has that look.
He has an idea.
And David is at Julie's house, so you already know they're together now. And Michael's there too.
Morning, my little nutcracker.
And there's a ring at the door, and we're kind of led to believe that this is Javi, but it's actually Teddy, and he shows up with flowers and gifts and tries to repropose again. We see that Javi is looking at Teddy pulling up, and Javi does not know about Teddy yet, so he just walks away, head drenched in shame. He is so sad, and Teddy is welcomed in. That was episode 20. We are now on 21. Episode 21, It's Not You. Jess finally tells Teddy that she cannot marry him, and they finally break up. Finally! Claudia calls Jess, and the clients from earlier, Mrs. Elliott, wanted Jess to redesign their son's apartment, and she says no, and she quit her job as a designer. Jess tries to text Javi, I dare you to meet me at the gazebo, but he says we cannot do this anymore because he's still upset that he saw Teddy. Classic miscommunication. That was episode 21, on to 22. Episode 22, Let It Snow. The episode opens up with Javi chilling at his house, and all his family's like, you made a mistake, you're gonna get a second chance, oh no, you gotta go back. Their personal chauffeur, Mr. Bogle, picks them up to take him to the airport to take him back to New York City, but they stop at the gazebo. Why are they at the gazebo? Well, we see Javi's gift for Jess, and Javi appears straight out of a shadow realm and proclaims his love for Jessica. And after this, she finally gives him a kiss, and he reveals that he bought tickets to New York City. And they start to kiss even more, and snow starts to fall. That was episode 22. We are finally on the last episode, episode 23. Oh my god, I love the show. I hope you guys love the crazy romp, the crazy wild ride. Episode 23, an epilogue, 1 year later. Obviously, like the title says, this takes place 1 year later, and Jessica now owns her own design company with Michael. Jess is the founder and CEO, and Michael works as the influencer. Obviously, we love Michael the influencer, my favorite character. And as Michael does best, he is creating content, and in the camera, Javi's sitting directly behind him, and he shows his diamond ring. They're gonna marry each other. It actually doesn't get shown in the episode, his proposal, but obviously it will happen at some point. But they all dance, have a nice little happy Christmas montage, and obviously my favorite ending of any show I've ever watched, it ends on a fucking Walmart ad. I love Walmart. It's my favorite place to go. It's my favorite place to shop. My favorite place to watch media. Walmart all the way. But that's add to heart. That's all 23 episodes they made. Hopefully never make anything like this again. I never want to hear the word e-commerce ever in my life again after this video. But yeah, that's all the 23 episodes. You know, I'm gonna do a little portion now on my thoughts and feelings around the show. Some funny, cool facts. Some, you'll see. Hopefully you'll see. My thoughts and feelings on the show. It's exactly what I was expecting. It's a show, yes, but that comes second. What comes first is the ads, and that's what this really is. It feels like that BoJack Horseman episode where Kelsey has to make a super obvious ad placement, and it's throwing off the entire impact of the scene. And that's what this show is. It's an ad, and I get it's not trying to be the next best romantic comedy of all time, but it is a romantic comedy, and all the comedy is so bone dry and feels fake. It all feels like every episode is just an extended ad for some products, and the characters are very one note. Teddy being the clingy, overbearing boyfriend, Michael's just a gay stereotype, Javi is hot, Jess is confused. It's very generic and bland, and to top it off already, it's boring. And all the interactions between the characters are very sped up and quick. That's because each episode is only 1 to 3 minutes long, so they just shove plot point after plot point in your face, and backstories with characters I don't really care about because I have no time to actually like them. And the only time I ever found this show funny for being a rom-com was the ads. And I wasn't finding them funny because they were funny in any way. It just threw off all the moments. No weight or suspension or any emotion in every scene. Like the scene with Julie and Michael, where Michael and Julie are speaking about the reason Javi and Jess aren't together anymore. And right after the scene where Julie just says, "It broke my daughter's heart. She was absolutely destroyed," you get an ad. This whole show is just another example of the dumb stuff and gimmicks companies and corporations will do just to try to raise their profits. And they care very little about the quality of content produced. This is one of the most dystopian pieces of media I have ever watched. And something about the term rom-commerce really doesn't sit right with me. I know earlier I was saying about this, how it really just grinds my gears why this term exists, but it really just doesn't sit right with me. It just makes me feel like corporations will monetize all feeling and emotions to make all the big money they can. Maybe I'm just going way too deep into some dumb marketing campaign, but I really thought it was just silly and stupid. Like, I get it, man. It's all about the money at the end of the day, but it's just so dumb. And another little side note that I also brought up earlier, I believe, is cheating in these movies is so romanticized, right? It's like the ultimate scenario. I don't understand. It's the whole time she leaves New York to go back to her hometown and runs into her old love, and since then, it's just so jarring and weird. Like, every scene you feel like they're gonna kiss or do something to, be unfaithful, and it's just so oddly romanticized. And another thing about this show that I don't really understand is the audience. When I was first shown this show, my first thought was, this is not for any normal person, I hope. Like, who would come home after a long day of work, put all their stuff down, get all comfy, and put on this show? I just can't see it happening at all. But I was wrong. When writing this video, I got an ad for the series on TikTok because I was searching up and talking about the series, and the government is listening to everything I say and do. But there was hella comments in this section asking for more and asking for what it was called and just general comments of support. And I just didn't really understand why anyone would sit down and watch this show besides if they wanted to get advertised to. There's so much other better romance comedy content out there. It just feels like a weird footnote in the history of rom-com. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's not a rom-com. It's a rom-commerce. It was there from the beginning. It was clear all along. I just didn't want to believe it. It knows it's not a romantic comedy. It knows it's only there to have romantic parts in it and what seems like comedy, but it's to promote commerce. It wants you to go to Walmart. It wants you to buy the items shown. It needs you to, because without you, Walmart does not exist. The acting, though, the acting itself isn't the worst thing ever. It's not bad. I actually think some of the actors did a really good job. It's just the writing team is so cringy and corporate, the humor never really sticks, and it always just feels like a bad comedy sketch skit. Now, to sum this all up, does this work? Me watching the show like 4 times, basically, do I want to go shop at Walmart? No, I actually kind of don't want to be inside a Walmart for the next couple weeks if I don't have to. But also, this kind of advertising really doesn't work on me. Just because I just get reminded that the brand is just shoving its brand in my face. Buy, 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 buy. No, I don't want to buy your brands. Please. There is a lot of pros and cons with this show, mainly just cons, and I'm not really going to go over the cons because that's kind of what this whole video is, but I will go over the pros. They do not gatekeep the drip. I didn't know, actually, well, before watching the show, that Walmart actually has some pretty nice clothes you can buy now. Back when I used to shop at Walmart for clothes when I was younger, like, you had no selections. It was all the same, don't talk to me unless I played video games t-shirt. Another pro is the treehouse. I really like the treehouse, and a lot of the items, if not all of them, are buyable at Walmart. You know, maybe I'll just make that treehouse 1-to-1 one day. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking way too deep into a little silly show that was just supposed to be a silly little marketing stunt, and I'm looking way too deep into this, but I just thought it would have been really funny to talk about, and I don't think a lot of people are going to cover this video because no one really cares about this. It barely had any views on YouTube and barely has any views on TikTok, and I don't think a lot of people know about this show. Shout out my girlfriend for showing me it, you know? That's all there really is to say. The show isn't a show, it's an ad. Have a great day, guys. I've been Gecko. You've been amazing. I'll see y'all in the next one.